Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Still your girl Favor here, and I'm so glad to have you here today. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming in to see me today. But if you're new here, I'd like you to click on the subscribe button below and the notification bell by the side. Alright, so today I've just come in to talk about an interesting topic that is kind of personal to me. I love food and I love to eat a lot. Okay, so you hear people ask me things like, are you sure you're not doing emotional eating? You eat a lot, there's that. But no, I'm not. Guys, I'm not, honestly. I'm someone who loves to cook. Cooking is one of my hobbies, one of my favorite hobbies. And I love good food, alright? So I love to see people eat good food. So most times when I cook, I end up giving out most of the food, half of the food. Most times when I cook, I end up giving out the whole food. And sometimes if I'm impressed by the art or by what I've done, I end up eating quite a lot. Okay, so a lot of people are beginning to think I'm having an issue, I'm having a problem, and I'm using food to just cover up. No, that's why I've just come in today to talk about eating disorders. All right, let's set ourselves straight on what the eating disorders are and ways to overcome it and how to go about it if you have it. Right, so I'll just dive right in. So let's set ourselves straight on what eating disorders are, the causes, and how we can go about sorting ourselves out if we have that. All right, so what's eating disorder? Is actually a mental health disorder, because yes, it's been classified under a mental health disorder, whereby an individual uses the control of food to cope with either stress or maybe a situation or an emotion or feeling and stuff. Okay, so here you see when they are sad they eat, or maybe they don't eat. It doesn't necessarily mean that the person would overfeed or be overeating. All right, it could also mean that the person will be eating less or be eating very little quantity, less than their daily requirement, due to an issue or due to a situation or emotional issue they're passing through. No, don't get me wrong, it's not as if maybe you're going through a breakup or maybe you're sick and you're losing some appetite, you have not eating disorder. No, it has to be over a sustained period of time. It has to be something that is there, even something that has been there for so long. All right, it doesn't mean that, okay, if you sometimes we feel sad, we go through a breakup, a week or something, and then we end up not eating, losing appetite and stuff, doesn't mean that you have eating disorder. But when this is sustainable a long period of time, yeah, my guy, you're having a disorder. You need to set yourself straight. Okay, so I just talk about the three men. They're not just the three men, but they are like the three most common types of eating disorder, which is anorexia nervosa, bulimia, and the binge eating. Okay, so anorexia nervosa. What's anorexia nervosa? It's like the most common one. Okay, it's where it's common among us, the young ones. All right, so we are watching our weight. We feel like we want to fit into the society's definition of perfection. So we don't want to overfeed. We don't want to lose that weight. We don't want to lose that shape, and we try to control what we eat. So we eat very little and then we exercise so much, so you end up eating quite little, but yet you keep working out on yourself because you want to maintain a shape, or maybe you want to lose more weight and stuff like that. Is a disorder. Right, I'm here to tell you today that it's a disorder. If you continue with this for a long period of time and you are keeping up with it, is a disorder. You have an issue and you should get help. And the second one is bulimia. So what is bulimia? Bulimia is where an individual loses control of how they eat, so they end up overeating, and then they'll try to take drastic actions to lose the food. So it's either they induce vomiting. You see people going through this disorder. You see them after eating, they eat so much and then they go into the bathroom and induce themselves to vomit out the whole food. Sometimes they take laxatives so that they can purge and get rid of the food, but then the cycle keeps going. They overeat, they purge it out, they overeat, they purge it out. Is a disorder, is a problem. You have to get help. All right, it's treatable, it's manageable, you can get rid of it and you can overcome it. So you just need to seek help. So the third most common one is binge eating. This one is like, it's like something is pushing you, right? Something is just pushing you to overeat. You're always having the urge to eat till you are filled to the brim. Like, you know that, sometimes when you're eating, you know that you're full. Your stomach is gauged, like it's telling you, I'm full. But you're just tempted with the urge to continue eating till you're like filled to the brim. It's like, it's a disorder. Is an issue, is a problem which needs to be dealt with, which needs to be tackled. Right, like I've said, don't get me wrong, alright, once in a while, maybe you've missed a diet or you've missed something and then you see it. Sometimes we get that excitement and we tend to eat and overeat till it's up to here. That's not a disorder. Sometimes it happens to even the best of us, alright? But when this is like a repetitive pattern, you do it all the time for over a long period of time, is an issue which should be dealt with. Alright, so these are the three most common types of eating disorders. Okay, so I would like to talk about one more with my experience. I would like to talk about one more, which is called avoidance or restrictive eating disorder. Alright, so this type of disorder, okay, like when I was young, when I was small, I used to love okra soup because that was my dad's favorite, and as my dad's favorite, it became my favorite. So I used to like okra soup. So each time when I'm very sick, I prefer to have this okra soup. I prefer to have it with either eba or maybe with agidi, or I loved okra soup so much. Till one time I was very sick and I was asked, what do you want? I said I wanted okra soup. So I was given the okra soup. So after eating the okra soup, I threw up. Like, I started to vomit. Like, it was as if I almost wanted to vomit my intestines. So after that particular experience, I couldn't see eye to eye with okra. Like, I couldn't even perceive it. I couldn't even look at okra or any soup that is draw. So growing into an adult, I stopped eating okra soup. I stopped eating any ogbono soup, anything that is drawy, like anything that is kind of that has that texture of okra soup. I stopped eating it. Why? Because of the past experience I've had, and I tend to avoid this food. So this is like an avoidance or restrictive type of disorder. This is, okay, I will admit this is the one I have, because even up to now I've tried to fight to overcome this. I've been working on it. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress, but it's also a disorder, right? So some other people, not because of the experience they have, maybe because of the smell the food has or the way the food looks, they try to avoid that food or to restrict themselves to a particular type of food. This is also a type of eating disorder. It's been classified under a type of disorder, right? So if you're also having this problem, there are still ways in which you can follow to kind of overcome this and start going around to eat those things, right? So now I'm gonna quickly talk about the causes of this eating disorders, alright? I'm trying to make this video as short as I can, so I'm gonna be very quick. So this eating disorder can be as a result of hereditary family. It runs in families, right? You might just inherit it, right? So number two could be due to any other underlying conditions, right? Maybe you're having depression or you're having anxiety, or you try to cope with these conditions with food. You try to use food to cope with these conditions. So it could be due to any of these underlying conditions. It could be due to peer pressure, right? Like, take for instance, the society has painted the way a lady should look, right? And maybe you are in an environment where everyone looks all sexy, where everyone has the flat tummy or maybe the six packs and all of that, and you're trying to fit in, or you're trying to meet up with the standard, and you're being teased about your body shape, you're being cajoled about how you look, alright? So you start exhibiting most of these characters. You start practicing unhealthy habits just to lose weight, just to get into shape, just to fit into the category. Yeah, it could be due to peer pressure or trying to please or fit into the society. All right, so another cause could be low self-esteem. Okay, so maybe nobody is even pressurizing you or teasing you into doing any of these things maybe people they're not even noticing whether you are having any belly fat or anything, but you, due to your low self-esteem, you're being intimidated by those around you or those you're working with. Maybe you're in some sort of industry and all other of your colleagues, they're looking that they look a certain kind of way, and you're kind of intimidated, you have a low self-esteem, you tend to start trying to do most of these things just to meet up, all right, just to meet up with your own with what your colleagues are portraying and stuff like that. So it could be from you as well, and most of these things can be overcome, all right. It's not something that is not treatable. It's not something that you can't work on. For different people, it takes different amounts of time. Someone in a month, they must have been able to overcome some of these things if they put the hard work. Some people it will take 2 months, some people 3 months, some people it will even take longer. So it depends on how committed you are to overcoming most of these things and handling the underlying conditions if you are any. All right, so I'll just dive right into talking about the treatment or the management. So first is admitting that, I feel like first is that admitting that you have an issue, admitting that you have a problem. Because if you don't admit that you have because I know most of these things are just, they go unnoticed. Most of this disorders go unnoticed, or you just take it as a normal thing. But the first way to getting a treatment or getting a solution is admitting that you actually have a problem, you actually have an issue. This is the first step to getting a solution. The second thing could be therapy, all right. You could meet a psychiatrist or a therapist who puts you through some therapy sections. And when you meet a psychiatrist, they might have you undergo cognitive behavioral therapy, psychodynamic therapy, different sorts of therapies, and different types of groups where you might even meet people undergoing the same thing you're undergoing. You guys will share thoughts and adhere to whatever instructions or whatever directive you're given by your therapist to do, right? So you can break out of this. It's not as if it's undoable. It's quite easy if you're committed to it. So another solution, another way to overcome this disorder is if it was caused due to an underlying condition like depression or maybe anxiety or panic attack or anything. The best way to deal with this is treating that underlying condition, all right? Get proper mental health care or proper diagnosis and get proper treatment for that condition. Right? Once that condition is tackled, I believe that the disorder will automatically become gone, all right? Another way this is managed, because most of the people that undereat and over-exercise, they end up causing physical harm to themselves. So most of these people are prescribed some supplements and all of that, and those with depression and all, they are prescribed with some antidepressants and stuffs to lithium, stuffs to balance their mood stabilizers, So that's it, guys. That's it for today. I just thought I should come in and just talk about this eating disorders, right? Because it's kind of overlooked, even though it's been classified into the group of mental health illnesses. It's still overlooked and ignored, and people just are going through these disorders and they are just carrying along like it's just a normal thing. It's not normal. It's not a normal thing, even though it's been normalized today, but it's not normal, all right? So you should get help. That's the first step. Admit that you have a problem, get help, and get help with it, okay? So thank you very much for coming in today to watch this, right? If you've not liked this video yet, go ahead and like it and make sure you share it, okay? If you feel like you have a friend that needs to see this, click the share button, share the link with your friends, right? And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, do well to click the subscribe button, darling. Until I see you in my next video, bye bye.